And it's that time to bring you updates from the African Cup of Nations, Morocco 2025. It all started with that beautiful opening ceremony in Rabat, and then we saw Morocco kick off the day with a win. Then we went into the match proper with all the teams coming with stellar performances, and the goals that we have seen at the African Cup of Nations, especially the second goals, have been really beautiful. From a bicycle kick from El Kabi and the opener, then we did see Ademola Lookman. Then I think we saw Lai Foster first, coming up with that long shot for South Africa in day 2 of the games being played. Ademola Lookman coming in day 3 with a beautiful goal, just like Lai Foster. I think those who are deciding the goal of the tournament already have headaches already. So welcome to AFCON Express on News Central TV. We still have Damila Josaliu with me over here in the studio. And now we are being joined via Zoom by another sport journalist. We have got Jidechi Chidieze. Hello, Jidechi. Welcome. Thank you for joining us on In the Game.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, Onyechi. And I think it's only fair to say Merry Christmas in advance, considering tomorrow is Christmas Day.
Yeah, tomorrow is Christmas Day, and it's going to look so beautiful, having to watch matches at the African Cup of Nations at Christmas. Even with the fact that Morocco at this time, the temperature is really very cozy, just like a normal snowy day in the United States. So it's looking like a good weather to celebrate football action in Morocco. Let's begin with what happened yesterday. Group D, Group C fixtures already done and dusted, their openers, I would say. Now with Tuesday's game done and dusted, the Super Eagles of Nigeria taking the first step at the African Cup of Nations 2025, and it was a step taken with authority, a lot of authority, if not even complete assurance coming from the boys. Nigeria's 2-1 victory over Tanzania in their Group C opener may have not screamed domination on the scoreboard, but that performance itself sent a clear message. The Super Eagles controlled territory, dictated the tempo, and showed flashes of quality that makes them genuine title contenders. That's if I'm not too early to say that. Goals from Chidieze and Ademola Lookman sealed all 3 points for the Eagles, but the game also exposed familiar talking point, of which we're going to delve into today. Victor Osimhen, through his moment, his AFCON moment, he scored, he celebrated, he removed his mask, only to be told that that was offside. Surprisingly, Nigeria's talisman, he failed to find the net on the night, very surprisingly for me. While Ademola Lookman, once again, he looked decisive when it all mattered for the Super Eagles. Eric Sekushel, we call his full name. However, he was not satisfied because we saw that expression at the post-match press conference. He was unhappy despite that win, and it raises bigger questions at this stage of the tournament. Should performance matter more than the points? Let's listen to the coach of the side and man of the match, Chidieze, and who would have reactions back in the studio.
Analyze this win because we did in first half a lot of good things to create a chance to score. We had a lot of chance to score goals in the first half, and in the second half we gave the chance to Tanzania to coming back in this game. We did 2 mistakes. So after, when we play every time, when we did play every time in front of us, we had some chance to score a goal. So this is a game, like you said, we are happy for the 3 winning, and the most important thing in AFCON is to improve at every game. So now, after the analysis that we will do tonight or tomorrow morning, we have to continue to improve. And this is a big game against Tunisia because this is a big team. So we have to improve about a lot of things defensively, and of course We have to put more movement when we don't have the ball and when we have the ball.
It was an amazing feeling. It's always an amazing feeling to score for your country, and in such a game like this to get us off to a really good start. I was really, really pleased. So yeah, it shows that we're one team. We can't only rely on the attackers to get goals. I think we need to get goals from all over the team. So yeah, the defenders, the midfielders, everyone needs to chip in if we want to do well in this tournament. So yeah, I'm glad we got off to a good start. So a few things that we could iron out and improve. There are also a lot of positives that we could take from the game as well. But yeah, like I said, we're definitely aware of the things that we need to do better in terms of seeing out the game and also killing teams off. And we'll be working really, really hard on the training.
Jidechi there with that first goal for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, the 2025 African Cup of Nations. We have seen this story before. Jidechi, Damiloju, we've seen on the Arsenal. Nigeria often played their most exciting football, but they would always fall short. Under Joseph Osero, the football was widely criticized, yet Nigeria reached the AFCON final. Yes, of course. And now, pressure is mounting for Eric Schell to deliver the silverware for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, prioritizing outcomes over aesthetics. So, as attention draws to Saturday's encounter against Tunisia, because we saw how Tunisia opened their campaign at the African Cup of Nations, we are asking, are the Super Eagles building towards something special, or maybe they are merely surviving their way through this group? Damiloju, let me begin with you before Jidechi comes up with his thought.
I'm usually very, very slow to go on the rim and start saying, oh, it's a fantastic start to the tournament, because it was a decent start. Tanzania, a team that we should be beating comfortably. 2-1 was in no way comfortable. I know there were a few standout players, but I think it's way too early to start signaling this as probably the beginning of something special.
So you're saying they're just trying to survive this group?
I don't think we're surviving this group. I think we're going to go past this group. I can remember 2021. Yes. We were the best team by a country mile in the group stage. What happened in the round of 16 against Tunisia that we're playing next year? Exactly. You remember. So for me right now, it is just, I got what I expected yesterday. It was a satisfactory performance. And let's see what we do going forward.
Jidechi, we saw the player ratings according to the formation that was deployed by Eric Schell. And we could see some spectacular numbers because the Super Eagles indeed control the pace. At the time when the ball gets to their feet, there's always this slow pace, drawing this thing, making sure that they control how this ball is played on the pitch of play. You can see the ratings there, with Victor Osimhen not scoring a goal but having 7.4, and we're seeing the likes of Sanusi getting 6.8, 8.8 for Uwobi, who was the man of assists. He's leading the assist chart at the AFCON at the moment. Lookman is getting 8, while we've got 7.4 for Wilfred Ndidi. Everyone has got spectacular numbers here. Nobody has a poor showing. So, Jidechi, with this, do you think we're trying to mount our dominance at the AFCON with this opener? Or maybe we are trying to survive this group?
I think one thing, I mean, I said this prior to the start of the competition, right? I do think that Nigeria, yes, we go into this competition as one of the favorites, but I do think it's also better for us not to raise hopes up because we know what our team currently is like. I think it would be a disservice to ourselves if we tell ourselves that we stand strong as one of the top favorites for this one. I've seen many rankings of the Super Eagles team as top 5. I wouldn't particularly put them in top 5. In name, yes, but in performance right now, this team yesterday was what it was supposed to be, right? I wasn't particularly expecting beautiful football. I do expect, just as Damiloju said, I do expect the team to get past the group stages easily, like they did in 2021 AFCON when we did top our group. But of course, we did crumble in the round of 16. I expect pretty much that scenario to play at the same AFCON where we end up topping the group, but we do not go as far as it would be in the competition. I do see us getting at least the quarterfinals per se, but again, yesterday was a start of something good.
Okay.
It's not exactly what we would have preferred,
Okay.
beautiful football and all of that, but a win in the tournament football is very much needed in a group stage.
All right, you both are giving me the vibe that we're just surviving this group. We're trying to make sure that we get out of this group and make the round of 16. Let's talk about Victor Osimhen at the moment. Surprisingly, yes, he was ineffectual. A goal ruled out for him as offside. Is this just trust, or maybe we are having a tactical isolation? That means we're trying to move past dependence on Victor Osimhen. Damiloju, please start off with you.
I don't think we're actively trying to move past Victor Osimhen, because whatever you might think about certain things that might have happened to him, Victor Osimhen is up there with one of the best forwards in the whole of world football.
We saw that frustration.
We saw, and I think that was part of the issue yesterday. I think Osimhen was trying a little too hard, and sometimes it just doesn't come off. Unfortunately for him, the one time where he did things instinctively and he put the ball in the back of the net, he ended up being offside. So I just think it was one of those days for him. We've seen him strike a good partnership with Akwa Adams, and I think the formation that Eric Sekoshel used yesterday kind of allowed a bit of load off him, even though he put so much pressure on himself. He allowed someone like Ademola Lookman to operate in pockets, and we saw that with the goal. But with Victor Osimhen, the goals are going to come. It's just encouraging for us as Nigerians to know that Osimhen didn't have a good game and were able to win. World Cup qualifiers, the matches that Osimhen didn't perform, will really struggle to get results.
All right, you struggled to get results. Jidechi, quickly, who was your standout performer in that yesterday's game against Tanzania?
We cannot overlook the fact that Alex Iwobi, I think I'd always been surprised, right? One of the few Nigerians, if I'll call myself that, I always believed in Iwobi, even on days he had bad moments.
No, I saw a different Iwobi yesterday. Please do attest to that. He was different.
I'm always excited when I see everybody see Iwobi for what he is. He's been a solid member of this team, manager in, manager out, and we saw that yet again yesterday, that this team, perhaps in a period where we are struggling to get good quality midfielders, that this team, if you take Alex Iwobi out of the system, we eventually would not even have anything to talk about when it comes to the Super Eagles midfield. And I'm very glad that yesterday was one of those moments when, if Iwobi perhaps have a bad time tomorrow where people would want to talk about, oh, Iwobi this, Iwobi should not be starting, we would have games like yesterday's one to always fall back on and remind ourselves that Alex Iwobi is a very integral member of this team that we cannot do without if we want to.
All right, there were other talking points that we will bring into this conversation, but let's feel the pulse of those who are in Morocco. Of course, we have joining us via Zoom right now, all the way from Fez, Morocco. We've got the chairman of the Interim Management Committee of the Unified Supporters Club. We've got Vincent Okumagba. Thank you so much, Vincent, for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me. Merry Christmas in advance to all Nigerians.
Merry Christmas in advance to you too, because I'm very sure that the Christmas is already looking like the Super Eagles have given us something to smile about in Thursday. While you celebrate the Christmas over there, you're sure that with this win from the Super Eagles of Nigeria, it's something to really smile about. Tell us, watching from the stands in Morocco, did that win, did it make you proud?
Well, of course, it did. It made us so very proud as Nigerians and as supporters. You can imagine that we traveled all those long distance to be here. And if we had not won, it would have been a very bad moment for all of us. But we are so excited, with that second goal and the fact that we have won our first match. It's a good way to start an AFCON tournament. And, win your first game and then wait for the next one. So we're happy. The match may not have been what we all expected as a big team in Africa playing Tanzania, but we are very happy that the boys they gave us what we desired, and that is a victory. 3 points in the bag.
All right, 3 points in the bag indeed. Before the start of the African Cup of Nations, we had gotten news making the rounds that the supporters club were not given visas to get to Morocco. Please, can you clarify that to us? We want to know if the supporters club are in their numbers over there in Thursday to support the Super Eagles.
Well, that was a fake news. Every one of us got our visas, and the process now is very easy. It's an e-visa that was issued to everyone, and it's even free. So it wasn't an issue at all getting visas. What the challenges we had was that of funding the trip. Because you know that the cost of air flights has gone up, everything has gone up, accommodation and the rest of them. So we're expecting the government to actually support us. And at some point, it looked like that support was not going to come. That was why some of us cried out. But at long last, as supporters, what we have been doing over the years is put our funds together by ourselves and find our ways to match venues. And that's what we started with this AFCON trip. And so some of us came on our own. A lot of us are here right now. But just a few days ago, the National Sports Commission came to our aid by trying to lift most of our members, especially the band boys. So I think the bulk of them will be leaving tomorrow. Some left yesterday. And so in the next match against Tunisia, you're going to see, we're going to hear drums and trumpets very loudly because the government has supported us, and we're very happy for that. So we are now in large numbers in Morocco.
All right, that's what we desire, because we know what happened at the 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations. And as of yesterday, we can get the numbers. Over 14,000 attended that match against Nigeria and Tanzania. So before we let you go, Vincent, as a voice of Nigerian fans over there in Morocco, what is the one thing supporters are begging the Super Eagles to fix before they play that game against Tunisia?
I think they should show more purpose and character. We're not totally impressed with the level of play, from the players. I think they could do more than they are currently giving us. I think some lack of seriousness is in that team, which they should try to correct. And at some point in the match yesterday, we were so worried, thinking that we're going to concede an equalizer. We shouldn't. We've gone past that level. We shouldn't be afraid of teams like Tanzania, where we have most of the best players in Africa and even the world football in our team, like Osimhen, Lukman, and the rest of them. They should make. They should make it easier for us to enjoy this match. We should not be playing with so much apprehension. So generally, we cannot single out any single player. I think they played below par, if I must say it as it is. So they should up their game in the next match against Tunisia. It's not going to be easy, but they are going to have our full support. So they should go out there and make sure that they show to us that they are ready for the AFCON trophy.
All right, thank you so much. We'll be here watching you all from the stand as you support the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and expecting that those who are yet to arrive in first to give maximum support to the Super Eagles. Thank you so much. We have been speaking to the chairman of the committee of the Unified Supporters Club, and he is Vincent Okumagba. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we just talked about fans, and that's the chairman of the Interim Management Committee of the Unified Supporters Club. Let's hear from the fans themselves. After they watched that game between Nigeria and Tanzania, they had a lot to say about those who performed badly and those who really took them up by surprise. Let's listen to the fans in our fans corner.
Game not bad, but our boys have to pick up because they underrated those boys, and at the end of the day, it almost cost us. But I think Tunisia will be tougher, so they should play their game and make us proud as Nigerians.
For me personally, I still say at least we try. Winning and winning, no matter what. And say the boys then try their best. But I believe say normal. By the grace of God, Nigeria will win this cup.
I'm a little bit worried about the boldness and the how daring the Tanzanians were in our defensive half, and I think we need to watch out for it. But hey, 3 points is good. We move on to the next game.
I have serious faith in them, and I know they'll definitely go far. Viva Nigeria!
Yeah, the game was good. I think Lukman was the man of the match. personal, but he didn't win man of the match. They gave it to Ajayi. He scored the first goal. I understand.
Both teams played really well. They played excellently, but I'll say Nigerian team would have, played much more better. And we look forward to subsequent much better performance.
It was amazing! Up Nigeria, up!
Personally, I feel that Nigeria could have won more if they were feeding faster and better balls to Osimhen. They're a bit greedy on the ball, each of the players.
Man of the match. Look, man, Osimhen did very well. Hold up, play beautiful. Moses came in and Chidieze before he left. Great, but we needed to humble these guys. We needed to send a message, to the rest of the team, to Tunisia, and to the knockout stage boys. And Nigeria is back, even if you no go World Cup. We supposed to carry something, go out.
We need to send a message. I say we'll hammer them today. Then other ones go begin to know, say, okay, we don't show.
You heard from the fans. They are not happy, saying, how did Shemi Ajayi get the man of the match trophy after that encounter against Tanzania? So let me ask the gentleman in the studio, Damiloju in the studio, and of course Jidechi via Zoom. Jidechi, Damiloju, gentlemen, who was your man of the match if you do not agree that it was Shemi Ajayi? Jidechi, let's begin with you.
I think I would start off by mentioning a player I've already mentioned, Alex Iwobi. He had 2 assists in the game, was very strict. I think he covered more ground than any other player. I did think he was going to win it. Particularly was also surprised to see Shemi Ajayi winning it. We can't also take away the fact that Ajayi did score a goal, but I also think someone like Lukman had a better performance than him in the game. But at the end of the day, what matters is that our team had all 3 points.
Damiloju, what about you?
I think for me, I have to agree with JT. It has to be Alex Iwobi, and here's why. Aside the 2 assists, he created 6 chances yesterday, and that's the most of any player at the AFCON right now. I think Salah also created 6 for Egypt. He was very, very instrumental in everything that we did, both in making progression of the ball from the midfield. Onyechi, you talked about how we dominated possession and were on the ball a lot. Iwobi was integral to that, and he eventually found creative ways to put the ball on the plate for his teammates. So I'm happy for Shemi Ajayi. I'm happy that a Nigerian won the man of the match. But if I was the one giving it, hands down, Alex Iwobi.
All right, thank God you're not the one giving it. Shemi Ajayi got it for the day. So maybe some other time for Alex Iwobi. Let's talk about another team in Group C. Elias Achuri, he scored twice as Tunisia, they began the AFCON campaign with a 3-1 win over Uganda in heavy rain. But these guys, they're familiar with that weather because the North African country, of course. Elias Achuri also gave the Carthage Eagles an early lead with a header in the 10th minute. So they scored as early as the 10th minute before Achuri struck either side of the halftime to put the result beyond doubt that Tunisia are not here to play. They wrapped up their campaign at the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers without losing or even conceding any goals. See, Tunisia did not come here to play. So we're going to be facing them on Saturday, and it's going to be a big deal because that victory puts Tunisia top of Group C with goal difference after opening the round ahead of Nigeria. That you can see on your screen right now. So Tunisia controlled most of the contest and showed greater composure in the final third. I saw that Tunisian side at the 2026 World Cup qualifiers, and I say, Jidechi, in what kind of soup are we in? Is it Ogbono soup or Oha soup? Or maybe a Wedu soup that draws. Maybe we're going to draw against them.
I mean, I bet to disagree.
Okay.
I do bet to disagree. I think I maintain the fact that the Super Eagles, I think, we will top this group, right?
Jidechi, Damiloju, I can hear that reaction from you. Come on, button. It's a free word.
I mean,
button.
It's very much understandable. Nobody expects these things, right? Also considering the fact that we did struggle in the most recent World Cup qualifiers, I strongly believe that we would find a way around Tunisia for some reason, right? Yes, they might be in great form, but they are not the side that I will say we particularly should have so much issue versus. I think it's going to come down to individual brilliance. And when it
Jidechi, how many goals did you concede? How many goals did you concede during the 2026 World Cup qualifiers? Go and check Tunisia, how many goals they conceded. They are not a team that has come to this African Cup of Nations to just come participate. Tunisia and Morocco have an intention, and we're seeing it in play at this African Cup of Nations. Already, they are topping your group on goal difference. Damilo, you help me here before I come over to where Jidechi is.
It's interesting how Onyechi is saying they are topping your group, as if Jidechi and I are the only ones that are Nigerians. And, well, we know what happened during the last AFCON. Onyechi was more Moroccan than.
Yes.
But anyway, this is what I'm going to say, and this is what I'm going to disagree with you, Jidechi. I don't think we're going to beat Tunisia in the next game. I will be happy to be wrong.
Reality
I think that kind of match could end in a draw, and potentially goal difference is what's going to separate who tops this group. Now, Tunisia are currently on a +3 goal difference. We are on +1. I think it is going to be very difficult for us to outperform them in the match that we play against them and in the final round of matches. And I will take you back to 2021. Tunisia, they were not so great in the group stage. We were exceptional. And guess what? On that day, they knocked us out of the tournament in the round of 16. Now they are looking a lot more menacing. Like Onyechi said, in the World Cup qualifiers, they were near perfect, especially on the defensive phase. We concede goals for fun. So I'm not as confident as you, but I really hope they prove me wrong.
Jidechi, I'm hoping that...
I think we are missing out the X factor, right?
Okay.
Please tell us.
Yes, we do have that tendency to concede goals. I very much agree. But we saw a game where Victor Osimhen was not at his best in the first game. And I think I was also particularly excited that Osimhen was not at his best, because maybe it's time for us to also learn how to do well on this. Osimhen is not performing, and maybe eventually it will rub off on us being a thing.
But do you know? But do you know? Osimhen not being at his best is worrying and a big concern. Because we're going to face a team that is defensively strong. We need Osimhen to be at his best. We need the goal poacher to be able to press into that defense and give us the goals we want. Because the truth about it is, these guys, the way they set up against Tanzania, we did not see that prospect that they were ready to press and then score more goals. They were just ready to score and then relax and then say, all right, let's lock up the back. I'm telling you, because when you want to face Tunisia, you have to face Tunisia with gun blazing, fire blazing. So not having Osimhen in top form or not scoring against Tanzania is worrying. Jidechi.
Exactly why I still stand by my opinion, right? Mark my fact. Now
Jidechi, you're a very stubborn analyst.
No, he's very patriotic. He's very patriotic, and that's good.
But this is going to be the game that we get to see Osimhen perform at this AFCON. Take my word for it.
All right, let's talk about Senegal right now. Senegal also came with something mind-blowing. Senegal were able to dominate Africa at the time when they won the AFCON. They won the CHAN. They won the Under-17 AFCON. They also won the Under-20 AFCON. And their team, their big soccer team, dominated also with the trophy. This time around, they're coming with that gun blazing again, saying, no way, it's going to be a clean sheet. Every team at the AFCON who has played their opener had conceded. But Senegal came in 3-0.
Comfortable performance from Senegal, and I know a lot of people will remind me of the fact that a lot of their players are maybe on the wrong side of 30 or they're no longer in their prime. But when you have a team that has likes of Nicholas Jackson, Sadio Mane, Ndiaye, Ismail Assar, there's Koulibaly, there's Mendy, there are so many seasoned professionals there, and we saw that on display. They're my favorites for this tournament, and I think you underrate Senegal at your own peril.
Yes, you underrate Senegal at your own peril, and the peril called Damiloju peril. But at this time, Senegal are doing wonderfully well. Jidechi, as stubborn as you are, would you agree with me, sir?
I mean, you can never take Senegal out of the mix. They definitely are up there among teams that should win this tournament. It's left to them to see how far they are going to go. But of course, we can never take Senegal out of the mix.
All right, as short as quick as that. Let's talk about today. Cameroon and Gabon will meet for the third time at the AFCON 2025. No, not the third time of this one, but at the AFCON. But they're meeting this time around. This will be the third one at the 2025 AFCON, where they kick off Group F. So this will be in Agadir. The sides, they previously met in 2010 and 2017, and Gabon unbeaten on both occasions. Gabon dominated against Cameroon, and now that Cameroon has two squad lists, we do not know which one came to the AFCON at the moment. Two captains, we do not know who's going to be the captain of the side, because we heard Brian Mbeumo will be the captain of the side, but we heard about another captain, and we have two coaches, Brice and, of course, Togo.
It's such a mess.
Such a mess. But these are the kind of teams that come with control. Do you know what happened to Cote d'Ivoire when they hosted? There was chaos.
Yes, it was chaos, but that one, they didn't have 2 squad.
So we are seeing Togo right now in the training. That means one man has dominated that fight, and he is at the training at the AFCON. However, Cameroon progressed from that group each time. Whenever these two sides are there, Cameroon will always take dominance. They are making their 22nd AFCON appearance and have won 5 titles. Last time, lifting the trophy in 2017. Key players, Andre Onana, not there. Vincent Abubakar, not there. But Gabon are appearing for the 9th time. They remain unbeaten in their last 5 AFCON opening games. So opening game has not been an issue for Gabon. Having Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who will feature for his 5th AFCON appearance. Gabon head coach, Thierry Moyoma, he says his team is mentally prepared to raise the bar as they begin their AFCON 2025 campaign. Today opens the gate. Group F, Group E takes center stage over there in Agadir. And we're going to be seeing Cameroon and Gabon face up for the 3rd time at the African Cup of Nations. Gabon was not that fantastic in the African playoffs, but they say that is African playoffs. This is the Continental Cup, and we have our focus regenerated. Jidechi, with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang leading this charge, do you think that everything will be all right and we'll see more goals this time around as the 2 final groups go with their openers?
Yeah, I mean, I do expect, for some reason, I do expect Cameroon's off-pitch issues to come into play at this tournament. It's looking like the recipe for an underwhelming tournament for them. I could be wrong, right? But somehow I kind of expect what's going on with the Cameroonian national team. It's been ongoing for a while. Kind of expect it to affect their competition and give Gabon the edge in this group. These are the top teams in this group, and I do think if Gabon can get their acts together with Cameroon's acts not together, it's a group for the taking.
It's a battle of acts at this time, according to Jidechi. He says if one can get their act together, and if another cannot get their act together, then we'll see a battle of act, and who is the best team will go with the best act. At the moment, we have Burkina Faso and Equatorial Guinea still goalless at the moment at this African Cup of Nations group encounter. We are looking for goals, and what we want to see is goals. But Algeria and Sudan will meet at the African Cup of Nations for the first time when they face off in Group E fixture. This will be at the Mol Al Hassan Stadium in Rabat. That group has got me worried. Why? Because Sudan, Dark Horses, they are the team that want to come and spoil the party. They were not invited, but they want to come and scatter the whole thing. Damiloju, what do you think? They are being coached by Ghanaian Appiah, who has been very instrumental, even in the qualifying phase and also in the 2026 qualifying phase.
I can understand your hesitation towards Algeria, especially because Sudan, like you've said, are a team that could potentially provide a shock. Yeah. But I'm excited by Algeria. Algeria, I know this is not 2019, will not rehash the things that they did to us in the semi-final, but Algeria generally are a team, especially when you have Riyad Mahrez, who is back in amazing form right there in Saudi Arabia. He is the kind of player that can literally change the course of a match. It's not going to be a comfortable victory. I don't expect it to be. We've hardly seen games where teams have blown their opponent away, except of course your Senegal. So I expect that Algeria will do enough to get all 3 points against Sudan today.
All right, so much confidence in Algeria. Remember that they have one man, Riyad Mahrez, who is leading the charge over there. We're hoping that they can get the job done in Morocco for the 2025 African Cup of Nations. Quickly, let's remind you once again what the fixture would look like for Group F and Group E in today's encounter. Already, Burkina Faso, Equatorial Guinea are playing goalless, but we have Ivory Coast up against Mozambique. So the defending champions are playing today. They are playing today, and they must be able to make a back. Cameroon go up against Gabon, who has got Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Algeria will take on Sudan in Group E, the second Group E encounter. 4 games on parade today, and we get to open the group standings for Group F and Group E. Thank you so much, Jidechi, Chidieze, for joining us on the show. We really appreciate your time on the show.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Yeah, it's great to always have you. Of course, we get to reconnect with you again on the show. But before we go, let's see what's on socials. Because the truth is, Everything about this African Cup of Nations is coming with the razzmatazz and paparazzi, and we're not going to leave that for you. So let's get to feel what's on socials, and when we come back, we get to call it a day on the show. From Odumodu Black having to reel out the names of the Super Eagles players heading up into the pitch, to that same Moroccan fan who was dancing in the midst of the Senegalese. He went back there again to create another content, dancing with Senegal as they opened against Botswana. A lot to catch up with at the African Cup of Nations. Damilojo, salute. One day we're going to do your socials, how you're dancing off camera before you come on air. You just see yourself in there.
That's that. I can't wait.
It's allowed, right?
No, just the excitement, as long as the Super Eagles keep.
But you're not going to win $96,000 US. So
you do this
it's
one.
not a bet.
You do this one.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
It's always good to be in the game.
A pleasure to have you all the time. And thank you, viewers. Please always engage our hashtag. Join us again at 10 p.m. West African time. Game on. We'll bring the other dose of the African Cup of Nations. I am Jidechi of Bar. Thank you for being there.